The thought that the planet everyone lives on is home to creatures and species that we've yet to discover is mind-blowing. But the truth is that despite us working on trips to send humans to Mars, some say we are not even close to discovering every living being on Earth, especially when we are talking miles down in the pitch-black oceans or deep in the jungles. So from a mysterious being that lives in the Vietnamese woods and was spotted by soldiers during the Vietnam War, to footage of an orang pendek, Indonesia's most infamous unconfirmed creature. Here are 5 sightings and encounters with unidentified species from around the world. As always, sit back and enjoy. Yowie. The Yowie is a creature that is known by several different names, including Quinkin, Jimbra, Gooba and Wowie. It's a supposed hominid that lives in the Australian wilderness and is thought to have originated in Aboriginal history. Over the years, it's been described as a hairy ape similar to Bigfoot that can stand as high as 12 feet tall. It has a wide flat nose and huge feet, and is considered timid unless provoked or frightened. Various accounts of encounters with the Yowie date back as far as 1795, but there is a fairly comprehensive report from 1842 that states the following. The natives of Australia believe in Yowie. This being they describe as resembling a man of nearly the same height, with long white hair hanging down from the head over the features. The arms are extraordinarily long, furnished at the extremities with great talons and the feet turned backwards, so that on fleeing from man, the imprint of the foot appears as if it has travelled in the opposite direction. Altogether, they describe it as a hideous monster of an unearthly character, an ape-like appearance. Since this, Yowie sightings have continued to be reported year after year, with one of the most well-known cases taking place in 2010, when a Canberra man spotted a creature in his garage. He claimed it was covered in hair and had long arms and appeared to be trying to communicate with him before running off into the forest. If you are from Australia, I would love to hear your thoughts on the Yowie, and whether you think it could be real. The orang pendek. Since 1923, sightings of what the locals call orang pendek have frequently been reported from the island of Sumatra in Indonesia. The creature has been described as a red-furred bipedal ape-type creature, standing around 4 feet tall, hence the name orang pendek, which translated from Indonesian to English means short person. However, despite the many reports and numerous expeditions, there isn't a whole lot of evidence to support its existence. Only a few photographs, hair from an unknown species, and some footage that was sent to me by a viewer that has caused a stir in Indonesia. It was filmed somewhere in a forest near Aceh, although the exact location has not been revealed. Many locals believe this is the first video evidence of the orang pendek. Take a look. Pretty strange. It doesn't seem staged, and the person does look very small, so it could just be a tribesman, but many believe that it is the legendary orang pendek. If you want to find out more about this creature, such as the sightings, the tales, and more on its description, then we have a great article on the Top 5's website that you will love. Gnomes. It's hard to believe that alongside Bigfoot, one of the most widely reported unknown beings around all parts of the world is a gnome. But these are not the type of characters that you will probably picture, but are instead a name used for an unidentified small humanoid. They have many other names and descriptions, and if you've watched my video on sightings and encounters with mythical creatures, I showed some footage of a supposed pombero, which is a similar creature to what many describe a gnome to be. But perhaps one of the more convincing tales out there is the gnome of Girona. the name given to the remains of an unknown creature that was found in Girona, Spain, in 1989. The creature was spotted by a group of campers who heard it moaning in the forest. They described it as having a bluish bald body with a few spots on that was less than 5 inches long, with big ears, red eyes, a snout-like nose, and a bulge on its head. Remarkably, the creature was captured alive and continued to breathe for 24 hours, before it apparently refused to eat food and eventually died. After being carefully examined, it was concluded that it was not the body or fetus of any known creature. It was then preserved in a jar of formaldehyde and still exists to this day. So are gnomes just made up beings spread around by rumours, or is there some truth to these? And could they really be small humanoid-like creatures that share this planet with us? What's your thoughts? Washed up creature. In May 2016, a couple were walking their dog along a beach in Port Talbot, South Wales, when they spotted what they thought was a huge piece of driftwood on the seafront. Upon closer inspection, they realised it was the 11-foot-long carcass of an unknown creature, which began a chain of rumours as to what exactly it was. On first glance, many believed it was a crocodile, but this was a beach in the United Kingdom, meaning it would be very unlikely a crocodile would wash up there. There have been suggestions it was a whale carcass. However, despite it appearing in the local newspapers and online pretty much across the globe, the exact species of whatever this creature once was is still unknown. What do you think? I saved the best for last, but before we get into this one, I want to let you know that if you're not following Top 5s on Instagram, then you're missing out on some really cool behind the scenes content. So click on the link in the description or in the comments section to start following us and keep up to date with the work and travel that goes into these videos. This next undiscovered creature has long been compared to the Yeti and Bigfoot, but their habitat is very different. Instead of cold and neutral climates, they prefer the thick forests of Vietnam, Laos, and Borneo. Goizung is known by the Vietnamese as people of the forest or wild men. They are described as nearly 6 feet in height and covered in hair, apart from a few bald patches on their knees, head, hands and feet, and their colour ranges from brown to grey or black. The creature supposedly walks on 2 legs and has been spotted living in small groups, feeding on fruit, leaves and small mammals. Reports from Borneo, an island east of Sumatra, and home to many rare and newly discovered creatures, describe the beast as very aggressive and capable of killing a human by ripping out their livers. But some of the most interesting reports came during the outbreak of the Vietnam War in the late 60s, where the areas commonly frequented by Goizung were becoming more populated with humans, resulting in more sightings being reported. In a book called Very Crazy GI, Strange But True Stories of the Vietnam War, a story was featured that reported the sighting of a creature by a squad of US soldiers. The men referred to it as Rock Ape and told how it stood 5 feet tall with red tinged fur. But sightings have taken place before the war. In 1950, a local man went into the forest to find material to make string, but never returned. After an extensive search, he was presumed dead. However, 3 years later, the man unexpectedly reappeared. He was long-haired and completely naked, and told the villagers of his encounter with a group of humanoid monkeys. He claimed he was kidnapped, locked in a cave with a female creature who he was forced to have a child with. The child ended up looking like a human, but covered in hair. Not sure what to make of his insane story, the man led the villagers to the cave, and they were confronted by a horrific scene. The child who the man had told of was there, but had been ripped apart, and the group of Hoizungs were nowhere to be seen. So that's 5 unidentified creatures that have been spotted around the world. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be doing more of these, as there are many more encounters with unknown creatures being reported every year. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.